Here's a short video to show what the independent rear suspension of a 2015 Mustang looks like. At least these are most of the components. I own a 2015 Mustang GT Premium convertible. It was the first one sold in Canada, so I never got a chance to really try it. I ordered it the day of the production started in September 2014. When I received it in January, it was wintertime, so I could only try it out for the first time in June 2015. On the first ride, it was obvious that wheel hop would be a hell of a problem. I'm sure that Ford will make history for making the worst suspension ever put on a Mustang in 50 years. If you look carefully at those components, everything is stamped steel. This is hollow. Here is the rear toe link. Total garbage. Here is the actual bushing that connects to the low wheel table and the toe link. If you look inside, it is hollow. Big mistake. This caused an incredible amount of wheel hop. These were replaced with Ford Racings, an actual real solid bearing. I'm not sure why Ford tried to save money. Here's where it goes. These are toe link. Here are vertical links. Awesome. This is not only stamped steel, but you see it's only kind of half a piece here. What I have now is a solid billet piece, which significantly helped reduce the wheel hop here. This is empty as well, right? And it's a cheap piece of rubber as opposed to be urethane like it should be. Some will wonder why make a piece like this which looks like half a vertical link itself. Well, if Ford had to produce 500,000 pieces of those, and this allowed them to save $3 each, well, they saved $1.5 million. That's what they refer to as economy of scale. So everything is cheaply made, total garbage. Here's sway bar bushings. 185 kilometers on the bushing. I'm not kidding here, right? I removed those when the car had 185 kilometers. For you guys in the US, it's what, 100 miles? I didn't even burn my first tank of gas. Here's another one. The one I was showing was the front. Here's the back. It was deteriorating after less than half a tank of gas. Here are the retainers for those bushing, right? It's not billet steel. It's stamped steel. Total garbage. Here's the vertical link, right? And if you look at the, hang on, if you just look at how weak the bearing is inside, well, actually I don't even think it's a bearing, it's like a ball joint, but it's extremely weak. It's cheap aluminum. I replaced the whole thing with BMR, and it's about at least twice the size. This is ridiculous. And here's what they use: eccentric bolts, or known as camber bolts, on a Mustang with 435 horsepower. This is what keeps your alignment. Well, under hard launch, this thing will move. You will lose your adjustment. Total crap. By getting rid of this, getting rid of the toe link, I've got an adjustable toe link from MBR. So this gives you an idea, but what is even more frustrating is the rear sway bar. Now, I'm not kidding here. This is a rear sway bar on the 2015 Mustang. It's about the size of my thumb, where it should be at least three times the size, and it's not even adjustable. Matters worse. The worst problem is, let me do something here for those who don't believe me. Here's the Ford part number. I'll make an experiment to show why there's so much wheel hop on this car. Hang on. hollow. It's hollow and it weighs maybe 2 pounds. Is that here the sway bar from my 2011 Mustang. 2011 Mustang with a solid rear axle. The solid rear axle does not generate nearly as much wheel hop as an independent rear suspension. Ford knew it. Look at the size difference. Okay, let's try the same thing here with a sway bar from a 2011 Mustang. I'll just put the camera down so I don't end up hurting myself. Now, sorry, this is a fucking sway bar, okay? 2011 Mustang did not need a sway bar. This beefed up. The 2015 needed one. Here is the front sway bar. You can see the difference in size. Yes, I understand that the front is apparently way heavier than the rear. Well, in fact, the 2011 Mustang had a weight distribution of 52-48, right? And that's the reason why they had equally big rear sway bar as the front. So I don't believe that Ford screwed up the weight distribution on the 2015. They took a shortcut. And that's what we have now. We have a car with full of problems. Why didn't Ford extend this piece and make 3 holes in it? Make it adjustable. Is something I don't understand. If they wanted to save weight, those morons could have just made 3 fucking holes in it. You know, they would have achieved just that. Save a little bit of weight. So basically, if you do have a 2015 Mustang, forget about buying a cold air intake that will give you absolutely no increase in power. Forget about buying an exhaust. The first modification, do yourself a favor, buy yourself a full suspension. Regardless who sells it, I think they're all good. I went with BMR, you can go with Stida, but that suspension is just absolute garbage. The wheel hop on that car on a hard launch was, well, it hopped out of control from the start. It stopped at about 610 kilometers. Well, for the you folks in the US, it's 65 miles an hour, and you're still having wheel hop. Well, you wheel hop onto a bad road, and you'll see how quickly you end up in the other lane. So it's not even safe. So for all of those bragging about Mustang and so on, thinking you have a good muscle car, well, maybe this is you. Hopefully, this will serve as a wake-up call. I am a hardcore Mustang fan. Well, I had Mustangs since the 80s. I'll probably have one until I die, but Ford really fucked up on this one, and don't believe that anyone should have to buy $2 grand worth of suspension parts plus the labor to do it when you buy a brand new car. Alright, so thanks folks for watching, and as I said, I strongly suggest you get yourself a decent suspension. It does work. My BMR suspension got rid of the wheel hop completely. There's no more wheel hop. However, I bought Mickey Thompson tires at 165 kilometers at the same time I did the suspension, and after 3,000 kilometers, which is 2,000 miles in the US, the tires were down to the wire. I blew one up actually yesterday on the highway. So the car has absolutely zero traction. I don't know if the tires, Mickey Thompson, those tires are made in China, which I didn't know. So I'm not sure yet if the suspension mods that I did haven't resolved the the lack of traction problem, I will find out pretty soon. I have a NITOs coming in tomorrow, I hope. So maybe I will post an update, or I'll put a comment on the video itself. And I'll let you know, guys, if there's still wheel hop or not, traction problems or not. But in the meantime, drive safe and do yourself a favor. Fix up that suspension. Take care.